Like, I made this point, I think maybe a week ago. Like, what if one of these players goes completely off in the WBC and then struggles in the regular season? What are we going to say about that player in that instance? But this is better than the alternative. I mean, imagine if Tatis was 0 for 16 with 9 strikeouts. What would we be saying about Fernando Tatís? I mean, Tatis has been absolutely sensational. And my hope, and I think Padres fans feel the same way, is just that a lot of what he is doing, not just on field, but off field, I hope that translates to San Diego this year.
And it's absolutely like you can't expect that kind of emotion is what you're going to see in the regular season on the regular. Of course, I think, gosh, I really hope that everyone knows that, right? Like this is for your country. This is Latin American baseball. This is how it is. As you said, I mean, Fernando in particular, he is so stoked after having to miss 2023, the WBC. But I will say this, drawing a line between how he looks when he's energetic like this. I mean, to what is important to the Padres this year, it has been a point of emphasis for them to get that version of Tatis, that in 2019, 2020, early 2021 version, because that's when he plays the best. Whether he's hitting home, grand slams off single A pitchers who were pitching at Texas A&M a year and a half ago, or whatever, that's when Tatis is Tatis, right? But he caught fire, or maybe you could say which came first, but the 2024 postseason, right? Profar was there. Lanny and Roberts were getting into it. There was a history with the Dodgers. Tatis thrives off of this, absolutely thrives off it. And the Padres are loving to see this because they do hope that while it's not going to be the WBC is like baseball played at a Bad Bunny concert with like 10 marching bands and 100 birthday parties happening all at the same time. That's not the regular season. It can't be the regular season. But that this version of Tatis carries over. They are loving seeing this.
Absolutely, Kevin. I couldn't agree more. I like the Bad Bunny reference. It's just fun to watch him happy, man. I mean, that's the guy that we grew up, but like we grew to love, right? He comes up in 2019, he makes some crazy plays. We're like, man, this guy could be really special. And then 2020, obviously, was his coming out little season because it was only 60 games. But I'll never forget, I always think back to the Rangers 3-0 swing, right? I feel like that's when he really put his name on the map of like, oh, something's going on in San Diego. Like, who is this guy? Obviously, 2021 had an amazing season. 2022, everything went down. I'm just proud of him, man. It's great to see him happy, and I would just love to see a full season of that guy locked in because I think everyone knows, and I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, he's never been the same since, he got popped in 2022. And that's what a lot of people say, right? A lot of people in our comments, and I completely understand. If you look at the statistics, they have a point, right? He went from a 950 OPS or 950 OPS guy to around like an 820 OPS guy. Obviously, incredible defensive player, 2-time Platinum Glove. He's still a great baseball player at an 820 OPS. And maybe it's the optimist in me saying it, but as Padres fans, I really do believe he's the type of guy that we're seeing. Yeah, he's probably not going to be facing the Texas A&M lefty throwing 79 miles per hour during the season, but I do believe he's the type of guy that, especially with his plate approach, he could be an 880 to 920 OPS guy. And if he's that with 35 home runs and plays the defense he plays in 155 games, and he plays happy, because when he plays happy, we always joke about, we have this thing called VAR, right? Which is just vibes above replacement. Kind of a joke, but at the same time, it does show a lot of players. Some players are boring and good. Some players kind of suck and they're fun. Tatis is a good player, and especially when he's happy, man, no one's having more fun. And at the end of the day, baseball's entertainment. So if he's happy and he's playing well, this Padres team is going to be really good.
Everything that you both said, I completely agree with. And then I'm wondering, like, if it's the same, in 2026 as it's been the last couple of years, it becomes kind of an interesting conversation in terms of like what his future prospects are.
Yeah.
Will he, every passing month or even season, you're further removed from 2019 through 2021. At some point, you need to buck that trend. It's as simple as that. He doesn't have to hit 42 home runs, but I just feel like his offense has to improve. You know, it doesn't. I don't think he's only hit 30 home runs in a season one time. Again, he had the injuries in 2019. He had the short season in 2020. He had the breakout year. It's like at some point you're gonna have to hit 30 home runs. It just feels like for me. Otherwise, this conversation just will never end.
I feel like 2024 could have been an incredible season. You remember that he was hurt the entire season, right?
Exactly.
And right up to the end, he came back. He's still hurt. The 24 season really could have been special. That's not to say you can't look at the numbers and not think about the ringworm. Okay, you can't. That's what I call it. It's the only thing that's been, that's the only thing that's been said. No, that you cannot look at the dividing line of the injury and suspension year and not at least ask questions. But the fact is, a lot of the metrics are still the same. There have been injuries. There have been different things going on. I absolutely believe that you make a valid point, Jon. If this season, where he's talking about feeling great, where people are talking about him being healthy and feeling great and having a good, I don't want to say good attitude, because that would have meant he had a bad attitude before, but that the vibes, that this is the Tatis, and that they've made a big deal out of it, and he's bought in that he needs to be that guy. And then it's 820 again. There are questions to be asked. That's not the same as saying he's not worth it. Fernando Tatis Jr., like the contract the Padres got, by the way, he's earned every bit of it. And he's on track to earn every bit of it because they got a really good deal. But in terms of, is Tatis a Hall of Famer? And we're getting ahead of ourselves. But is Tatis, is he really MVP quality? This year is a big year toward those questions.
I couldn't agree more, Kevin. One thing I like to bring back on Tatis's 2025 year. So I'm on his baseball reference right now. 155 games played, most he's ever played, which is awesome. If he could replicate that, we're in a really good spot. He had a 5.9 wins above replacement, right? And what's really interesting to me is if you look at his stats, in April, I'm pretty sure he had about 11 home runs. From May to August or maybe September, I think all summer he hit like 5 home runs. And then in September, he had a nice little run there. So he ended up with 25 homers, where majority of his home runs came at the beginning and the end of the season. If a lot of people, if you're a psychopath fan like me, or if you work for the Padres or work in Padres media like Jon and Kevin, you probably remember, I think it was May 2nd last year, Mitch Keller hit him with a fastball on the hand. Tatis is on the forearm, instantly pops up, huge bulge. I was like, oh, this guy. And in April, he had like 1,000 OPS. He was looking incredible. I texted my brother and my friends. I'm like, I remember I was friend's birthday party. It was a Friday afternoon. And I was walking over to a little sports bar up here in the Bay. And I obviously am tracking the game on my phone. And I see injury delay. And I'm like, that's not good. So I check and I see Twitter. Everybody's freaking out. And from that moment on, I thought he was going to be on the IR or on the IL. Doesn't go on the IL. He starts the next game. So when you look at the amount of games played, that's awesome.